heading southbound. I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is the One Hell of a Life podcast with Tony and Tristan Bogle, your hosts.
Let's go.
And I am the guest, the number one outfitter that they got on here from Arkansas. And we're going to talk a little bit today about how our economy is so screwed right now and why nobody's booking duck hunts. All right.
Fair
and
enough.
It's not just me. It's not just me. It's everybody.
Yep.
I don't care who it is. If you've got a business, it doesn't even have to be duck hunting. If you got a business that requires you having clients,
Sure.
nobody is wanting to spend money right now because you got these crazy people like Kamala Harris running for office when you ain't got no damn business being in office. All right.
Right.
Now, let me just put it at this. All right. It is not maybe their fault. It is not kind of their fault. It is 110% their fault. You and I have both lived through a Trump presidency.
Yep.
We both had money. We both could afford food. We both could afford gas. We had a secure border, and we were energy independent. All right. Since then, you change it, it's going straight to hell, and it continues to get worse every single year. So don't tell me, oh, it's because of this. There's obviously, you can see the difference. You can obviously see the difference.
Man.
But with that, we introduce you to the One Hell of a Life podcast.
That's
And
right.
That was a
tonight,
hell of an intro.
This episode is called the One Hell of a Shit Show Economy Podcast.
Let's go. Let's go.
That was pretty damn good, Kade, for, I mean, your first intro to a podcast. That was pretty good.
That's right.
It was all right. I kind of butchered it up right there at first, but
I didn't catch on to it. You sound pretty smooth to me.
Yep. Yeah. Smooth criminal.
I am smooth.
Oh, dude.
Oh man.
But man, ain't that the truth, man? Everything's more expensive right now, and that's just people don't have as much money to spend, and then
Well, I'm thinking nobody wants to spend on but it ain't just me.
Mhm.
I looked all afternoon on Facebook, and it's everybody.
Yep.
Nobody's wanting to spend money right now because nobody knows what's going to happen.
Right.
Yep. No, it's crazy how that happens, man. And here's the other flip side of that. I mean, unless you've been totally tuned out, bro, Tristan, tell him that example that you saw of the guy that recorded his grocery bill. Now, y'all know that groceries went up, but Tristan, tell him this.
So he
Where was he at?
it was Walmart, and he was using one of those apps where they auto shop for you.
Instacart or something.
Yeah, and then they bring you the order and all that. And he was able to pull up his order. It was like 47 items. He pulled it up from like 2019 or something, and I want to say it was like in the 180s, 120s, something like that. And it was like close to $400, the exact same 47 items today.
So, obviously, Mama's sitting there at home to these married guys going, you ain't going duck hunting this year. I mean, dude, that's crazy. I mean, so let's just say that was a month, which it wasn't. It was probably 2 weeks or a week or whatever. But if that was only a month, that means that I'm spending $3,600 extra a year just to feed my family. So what does that mean? That means y'all need to start justifying and learn how to sell to your mama at home and be like, babe, you know what? I'm taking the gloves off. I'm going to go get our meat.
Well, it's very expensive.
I need to go
meat.
book a hunt with Delta Thunder Outfitters and go out there and get some red meat from some ducks. I'm going to take that. I'm going to feed us and the baby, and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, I tell you.
That's just it. That's just it, Tony, though, is they don't it's not that they don't want to go duck hunting. Hell, you want to go duck hunting,
Right.
and you're gonna go duck hunting.
Mhm.
You just might not get to go where you want to.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what it is. Everybody's pinching their damn pennies. I get it. Right now, there's a lot of stuff that, there's a lot of stuff that factor me guiding.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't understand it, but I have farmers that I've known my whole life that just are generous enough to work with me and let me pay my lease as I go. But our deal is I got to have it all paid by Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
So I get a deposit, and that deposit goes straight to that farmer or other costs. It doesn't all go to the farmer. Some of it goes to, we got side-by-side payments and little stuff like that. But, it all goes to something. It's not like I'm taking it and, going to casino with it.
Right.
You got to have it in order to operate. Well, right now they're just in November and December. There just ain't hardly nobody booking, and I don't know what it is. I got plenty of January folks. Everybody wants to hunt January, like every duck in the world's here during January. And the best week of the year was the first week last year. So,
Yeah. I mean, we've been coming out there long enough to see what you're talking about, where, there really is no telling. It's the only thing I tell people is, like, if you can try to take that 2-day trip and make it a 3-day trip, because I can't tell you how many times when we've been able to do that, it's like one of those days pays off,
Well, that, or if you got 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
you do 2 days in November and 2 days in January, or 2 days in December and 2 days in January.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you said before on the podcast, you booked the same weekend 5 years in a row, and I mean, it's a mixed bag what you're gonna get.
Well, I've got several clients that come in January that book the same dates every year,
Mm-hmm.
and they can tell you that none of their years that they've come on the same date are the same.
Yeah.
I've got some guys that come and just absolutely smash them. They did it one year, then they did it the next year, then the next year they don't kill nothing, or they might not kill many, one of the two,
Right.
And a lot of people, they might come 2 years in a row on the same date and smash them in 2 days, and that third year not kill nothing, and they just give up. You don't see them again. I have had some people do that, but you can't tell when they're going to be here.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's just
If I
so many
could,
factors.
that day would be $100,000 a gun,
Yeah.
guaranteed. And then I'd just be screwing people the other 59 days of season.
Nah, man, there are so many factors that go into it, and you just gotta, like you said, if you really, the best case scenario, like you said, if you could split your time, I mean, that probably is the best strategy.
Well, if you hunt during the rut, deer hunting,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know if them deer are going to be, you don't know if you're going to see no deer.
Right.
The opportunity's there. The best time, you're hunting the best time, but you don't know if that big buck's going to walk out in front of you.
Oh yeah.
Same deal with killing limited ducks.
Yeah.
You
dude.
could have the worst weather in the world to come. It could be 70 degrees with no wind, and you go out there and absolutely mop the ducks.
Well,
And then you come back in January and you got a nice, pretty bluebird day with a 10-mile-an-hour north wind. Just ducks are abundant, but they just don't want to work you. I mean, that could happen too.
yeah, no, and to your point about deer hunting, like, we've always, since we've lived in the South, like, tried to make trips back up to Illinois, and, like, the years, we go the second week of Illinois when we can go, or second week in November when we can go, and there's been 2 of the last 3 times we went, the rut is hot, we've both shot in bucks, like, it's been great hunting. But the last time we went, I saw a buck and a doe, and then I saw another spike, and that's all I saw in 6 days. And my dad only saw 1 deer too, and it's like the same property. I mean, that we had the success on, and he shot 150-inch deer like the year before there, and it's just, you know, you never know what's gonna. It just, you got to go to, you know, have the success, and you got to go to have the bad times too. You just never know.
Well, that's what separates the, you know, it's so funny. You know, people think that guides, doesn't matter if you're a duck guide, turkey guide, deer guide, lizard guide, Sasquatch guide, whatever your guide. You know, them people show up to hunt with you, and they think you're Snow White or something. You know, they think you're dancing out there in the woods and go, oh, and then the damn ducks and shit start coming out everywhere. Like that's everybody's mindset. Like that's on a guide, and it does not work that way. You know, unless you're Tony Vandemore and pour out hundreds and thousands of pounds of corn. Well, you don't pour it out. You just plant it and leave it. You know, give me $1 million worth of corn to leave out in the field. Hell yeah, I hope I kill some ducks too. But
oh man.
Well, so what you're trying to say?
I told you before we started, I'm full of shit tonight. I'm ready to fight.
All right. Well, this is going to be a good podcast. If you guys are all just tuning in right now, we're getting ready to get into some funny ass shit. Listen, so the videos of Tony Vandemore's hands, all right, shows his hard working hands. Can we get some videos of
groceries every day? I'm gonna start sending a picture of my lawn and saying duck groceries every day and putting it on my Facebook story.
Oh Jesus!
Hey, y'all are funny.
Hey, okay, guess what?
What?
There's a lot of the ducks that we kill in Northeast Arkansas that their numbers are way down. What's your prediction this year?
Well, I hope you didn't look at the Delta thing that I looked at, because they were up.
You know, the mallards were.
On the Delta, well, so here's how the duck hunting thing works, right? So this is me, all right, and this is a fact. If the numbers are down, you're going to smash them. 100%. Every year, you're going to, like, I remember, what was that, like 2 or 3 years ago?
The green wings, yep.
Yeah, they said that they were at an all-time low or something, and there was none left, and they were going to go extinct with the dinosaurs. we killed wheelbarrows full of them.
We did.
Wasn't it like
that was Twisted Teal's year?
It was like 20% down. It was like 22% down is what it said.
It wasn't.
And Tony called me. He was like, "Man, I don't know about this year," and I was jacked. I was like, "Yes."
we might have even talked about it at the podcast. Who knows? You know?
Yeah, it might. You might go back and look at that, but like they were talking about how the numbers were down, and we just absolutely just murdered the ducks that year.
Yeah,
so
it was like
the numbers to be down.
It was
I wish they'd come out and be like, "There's none left. There's no ducks left." I'd go buy stock in Winchester just to afford ammo.
Well, you know, to be honest, like, I think my newer duck hunting brain, like, up until I met you, was kind of like, oh, you know, like, I would get all excited when I saw the numbers, but now, like, it's cool. Like, I like that they do these surveys and stuff, but honestly, I don't really feel like it matters, because, I mean, obviously it matters for making, making, you know, different regulations and stuff, like, you know, especially with like pintails and stuff, but like year to year,
you're just talking about like the overall doesn't necessarily matter to where specifically you're hunting, right?
Like, I mean, I've had, like, I wouldn't say like one season's like dramatically better than the other regardless of the number, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I'll give you a great example, Tristan. So
when I see the numbers, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, we'll see how it goes when I get out there.
A couple of years ago, it's a guaranteed fact that the pintails took a dramatic
Pin nails.
pin nails. Yeah, they took a dramatic.
Yeah, you were making fun of me for saying Venmo, calling Venmo. Yeah, now we got something to make fun of you about.
Yeah. Well, several years back, a couple years back, when they talked about how bad the pintail numbers were, there's facts to back that up. Just because their nesting is so weird, they
Hey,
just.
hey, you want to know how you kill a pin nail?
Oh, how?
With a heavy hammer.
That was great. Honestly, that was amazing.
That was the best thing you've ever said in your life.
Comedic genius that just came to me. I know.
That's great.
But continue.
No, but here's the deal. So they said that the numbers were down overall, which they were. It's factually backed up by the fact that if pintails try to breed somewhere and they go back to the same place and they can't because that water's not there, they just won't lay their eggs. And they're the only breed that does that. Well, anyway, what was crazy about it, going to Cade's point, was if you talk to anybody in Northeast Arkansas that year, or a very, I won't mention it because I think it's going to make a giant comeback, but there's a valley in Indiana. And if you're an experienced waterfowl hunter, you know it. And if you're listening to this right now, you're Googling it. And the fact is that those guys, anybody you talk to that hunted in their public land and private, would tell you that, dude, almost every day they limited out on pintails. It's crazy. I know several people, factual, that just smoked their ass in those areas. But to your point, Tristan, is that you might, if the numbers were way up, for example, if you're in one of those areas that don't get a lot of pintails, you might start seeing some more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it is very situational.
Yeah, it is. I'm just like, okay, that's
they should have a
grain of
pintail
salt.
limit like a coot limit.
A 15 a day?
Yeah.
Man,
whatever it is.
the weird thing about where you're at, Kate, is like
They should save the coot and trade it for the pintail.
Yeah.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
I feel like the weird thing about where you're at, like as we've seen over the last few years, is like you always see the pintails. Like even if nothing else is flying, it seems like you see the.
It's
pintails.
the biggest number of ducks that we see in groups outside of green wings, in my opinion.
No, like there's so like in January, everybody's like, there's so many ducks here. I'm like, they're all pit. Like there was days for the last 2 years. As a matter of fact, last 2 days of season this year, we sat there. The second to last day of season, I think it was, we sat there. We killed our pintails. There was 4 of us or 5 of us. I don't remember. I remember that Willie was here and Stephen Dudley. I don't remember who he had with him. I can't remember. But anyway, we killed our 4 or 5 pintails, whatever it was. You know, there was 4 or 5 of us. And then we kept decoying them. And it took like all day. We had a group of spoonbills come in. We killed them. We killed some widgeons, I think. And they were gadwalls. We killed some gadwalls and a few teal. The teal, it was crazy. So I can call a teal in, if they're over the same body of water that I'm at, I can call a big group of teal. I mean, I can pretty much get them to center the decoys and come right in just about every time.
Amen.
But the last week or 2 weeks of season this year, they just act like you didn't even they act like you weren't even there.
Dude, I did experience
they would not
that.
react at all. They wouldn't react to a call at all.
Dude, wouldn't you agree that like from year over year, like the year before that when we filmed Twisted Teal, And guys, if you haven't seen that video, go on there and you'll see exactly what Kate's talking about. Like, he's controlling these teal so well that there's this one banking turn I remember in that video that he said it maybe a split second before the first duck in that big batch made a turn. But he knew, he goes, get ready. And they just hit the brakes and turned, dude, and just came and centered right up.
Dude,
Sometimes I'm wrong on that. I say get ready. If I think they're going to do it, even if they don't do it, I still if they don't, if I think they're going to do it, I say get ready because everybody needs to be ready, you know. But sometimes I say get ready and they don't do it, and it's, well, at least everybody's ready, you know. At least everybody knew what it was about.
No, but
at least everybody knew what was about to happen, you know.
I love in that video. It might be that same, like, there's a moment in that video where, like, there's the ducks working, and then I like show the clip of Kade calling, and then right before all that, I think it's the same group. He's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I think they came so close, and we still ended up working.
No,
on
it was that group. It was the group. I was calling one mediocre group, and there was one big wad of teal up high that just fell straight down.
That's what it was.
Like they were. They looked like the Zeros bombing Pearl Harbor. They were coming straight down. I mean, straight down. I'm not talking about folding their wings and cupped up. No, I'm talking about torpedoes straight down.
They were, dude. But here's let me finish my point on this. So here's my point. You remember in Limits in Arkansas, the video that we put out last year with
yes.
me, you, and Kate on the front porch?
Yes.
So, dude, you remember Kade kept saying that? I mean, we got in some decent green wing teal that morning, but do you remember how he's like, dude, they're acting weird.
Yeah.
They're acting weird. They're not setting weird. Remember how sporadic they were being, Kade? Like, they just weren't doing, like, they were acting, and that's when Kade started talking about doing crack and coke. We were in the blind. He's like, yeah. He goes, these teal, they do crack, cocaine, and all this other stuff. And dude, they were just acting way different.
They're active drug users.
What I hate about them too is like when they're so like sporadic like that, you know, and then they go to land in the decoys, and then it's like shoot them, and they just freak the hell out, you know.
Dude, every one of them.
I think like they're in some ways like when there's a million of them, they're the easiest to shoot because there's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
But sometimes
that's what hard. I got it. That's what happened.
Sometimes they're the hardest.
No, so they got the fentanyl and the cocaine that they got, and it you know, you didn't hear about it till last year. So they got that fentanyl in the hatch, and that action time.
They anticipate better now.
You know, we actually have proof of that on video that they do take fentanyl and cocaine, because if you watch, there's a part in that video where this teal comes in, and you see 3 times feathers fly off that duck, and that duck's like, Dad, I'm going to the Motley Crue concert. And he just buzzed out. And we were all sitting there going, dude, we got 7, 8 guns here. And he's just like, and he goes, shout at the devil.
Baby.
Boom, boom.
I'm just thinking of Kickstart My Heart.
You need to call Motley Crue.
When I get high on speed.
Dude, we need to get Motley Crue involved on teal hunting.
Dude, if you know somebody at Motley Crue, call them, because I don't.
Well, I guess I'd have the best chance. I used to have a mullet.
You probably partied with them.
Dude, I did
ago.
a couple times. There's a couple times that I went to a Motley Crue concert, no lie, and I was walking out and I was like, dude, if I go there right now, I needed to figure out a different path for life. Dude, who was that comedian that talked about? He goes, John Denver dies running into a tree, and Motley Crue runs on. No, he goes, John Denver dies while skiing, hitting a tree. He goes, but Motley Crue can do all the cocaine, screw all the they want. And he goes, and that helicopter will not crash.
Oh,
I
man.
forgot what the comedian that said that, dude.
They're truly like, you know, the saying like only the good die young. They're like the other side of that, like where the good don't die,
Yeah,
or the
dude,
bad don't die.
The bad don't die, right? No kidding, man. It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese. But now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024? I'm going to throw in a little curveball right here. Kade, did I have a dream, or did you tell me that you had a dream about a prediction or somebody that did? Would you tell me about this?
Dude, what?
About
Dude, the last person
about Michelle Obama. About Michelle Obama. Was you the one that told me about this?
Do what?
About
Oh, no. It was that dude on TikTok.
Yeah. All right, go.
That dude
Tell
on
him.
TikTok that was, I remember there's this dude on TikTok. I don't remember his name. I don't follow him. And he claims to be a time traveler or whatever. Right?
Yeah, he's a time traveler.
Yeah, this guy says he's a time traveler.
Now check this out. No, stay with us here.
And so, evidently the guy said some stuff about the last election, and exactly what he said happened. So that was the kind of the wild thing, right?
Like there was facts to back it up.
Well, he says, I saw this thing the other day, and I told Tony about it, which I don't think nothing about it, but it's pretty wild that, the last election, he got on there and was like, yeah, it's going to be rigged and blah, 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 and Joe Biden's going to win, and all, pretty much everything that happened, that he said was the wild
There was
thing.
a lot of facts.
It might not be he might not have all the details to it, but the high points, the main points of everything that happened. And I can't remember the guy's name. And I don't, like I said, I don't follow him. Anyway, so the other night I'm scrolling through there and he says, he's a time traveler. I already know what's going to happen in the election and stuff. He said that Donald Trump's going to win, but he's not going to be running against Kamala Harris. He's going to be running against Michelle Obama. So I don't know what the hell that means.
No, think about this. Let's break this down for a minute. Think about this. We got 3 different people here on this podcast and 3 different brains. So my brain, I can see that as a strategy of the Democratic Party by the last minute going, all right, Kamala has lost her credibility.
It's not going to happen because the funding.
So you're trying to say the time traveler's not real?
It's not going to happen.
Tris is a time traveler.
He's
like, I traveled here before he did. Tris is like, I got here way before you did.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're all in.
I don't believe none of that shit, but I'm just saying the dude was right on some stuff on the last one. And that's just if you're just saying some stuff to get some TikTok views and you're dead wrong, which is what a lot of people do.
Sure.
When he lost or whatever the last election, people were saying, oh, they're going to overthrow it because he got all them votes, overnight, which I think is BS. I think that when the voting's done, it should be done.
Yep.
Just like if you're late on your house payment, you pay a late fee.
Yeah.
If you're late on your car payment, they don't give a shit. You're paying extra.
Same,
especially with, the commander in chief of the country
Right.
That shouldn't be something that, well, it took us longer to count the votes. Well, how come he got every single vote and not one of them was for Trump? You're telling me you put 300,000 people in a room,
Did he get
or whatever it is. You put 100 people in a room. There's not going to be at least one of them voting for Trump.
Right.
Yeah, dude, and didn't Trump have a record number of when you counted the votes? Wasn't it the most in history?
Yeah, and here's the thing:
For a candidate?
they said that Biden got more votes than Barack Obama, and I don't believe that.
No way.
I don't believe that.
No way. No way.
Yeah, I know Trump. I just heard him on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and he had, he had more votes, more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's funny. I watched that last night that you mentioned it, the one where he's on Theo Vaughn's podcast. I don't know what to think about that crazy son bitch. Theo's a little
dude. He's hilarious. You gotta. He is insane, but like the more you listen to him, the more you I guess it's just gotta be one of those things if you like him or not. Yeah. But he's funny as shit, man. He just makes up shit.
I think if you don't know him and you're just listening to this, you gotta be around him a little bit to kind of understand his style.
Yeah, I've been listening to his podcast for probably like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so, no, Tristan told me a couple years back, he's just like, have you seen Theo Vaughn? I'm like, no, but that name is so like profound. You know what I mean? It's like when you hear it, you don't forget it. Mm-hmm. And so I looked it up and I said, who's on the podcast with him? He goes, nobody. He's just doing this podcast by himself. And I'm like,
a lot of times he does.
I'm dying laughing at this dude, his creativity. I mean, dude, they had him on College Game Day for the national championship. Dude, I mean, Theo Vaughn is the real deal.
Dude, he was on, Kay, did you see when it was a viral clip, so you might have seen it. It was the guy was like singing the Georgia like Bulldogs fight song, and it was the SEC championship weekend when they're playing Alabama, and he does the whole, it's Pat McAfee, he does the whole Georgia like fight song, and then he goes, and I'm taking Alabama, and everybody loses their shit, and it was hilarious. I don't know.
I think I did see something on that. It was a while back.
Yeah, it was like towards the
it was last year, but yeah, I think I remember seeing something on it.
Shit was funny. Hey, speaking of Arkansas football, I saw the other day on TikTok that they got this dude that he got drafted. He got drafted like 10 years ago to the MLB, and he was like a 2nd round pick. And then he had like a 10-year MLB. So this is like when he was 19. So he played in the MLB for 10 years, and now he's a wide receiver at Arkansas, and he's 29.
But sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about
anytime you hear anything wild, it either comes out of Florida or Arkansas every time.
Well, we were talking about Arkansas football a couple years ago, and you're like, yeah, they just tell me, they got this new boy out of the state penitentiary that can run this or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime you hear something wild, this is in general. This is anything. It doesn't even have to be football. It doesn't even have to be sports. Anytime you hear anything wild happening, it's either out of Florida or Arkansas.
Oh, 100%, man. Florida, it's got a coin term, the Florida man.
The other day, I'm sitting there. I don't remember if I was watching something on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or what it was, but it was the police chase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was this guy. I don't remember what he did, but anyway, the cops are chasing him, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're going. He's going. He's swerving around traffic and everything. He's going, and they got the little dash cam on the car or whatever, and all it says was an Arkansas State Trooper on it, and a lot of times I see a lot of videos that say that Arkansas State Trooper chases this or whatever. I see them videos all the time. And like a lot of times you think, well, they just put that on the video because they see that I got a lot of videos that are tagged in Arkansas and everything, so they're going to put a put the Arkansas stuff to an Arkansas audience, you know. Well, so he's chasing this dude, and then they start passing signs and stuff that I've seen.
Oh God.
And I'm like, hell, I know right where it's at, you know. And like they get to going, they're going down the road, and then they cut, you know, turn off one road, and I'm like, yeah, that's over on State. I know right where that's at. That's over on Stadium. They call it Red Wolf now, but it's Stadium's what all the local people right here around Jonesboro, where I live, call it. But yeah, sure enough, I saved the video, and then I took it over. I took it and I showed my mom. I said, tell me where this video was at or whatever. And she's watching it. She's like, oh my God, that's over by the college. I was like, yeah.
I've seen a few things like that since we've lived in Atlanta, but Atlanta,
Oh,
it's
well,
like,
I can only imagine. That's every second in Atlanta.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you'll see some shit in Atlanta, but there's so many like striking landmarks, you know, like that you're like, oh yeah, I know where that was.
I couldn't live in Atlanta. Number one, traffic. Number two, there's way too much good stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I would never have any money. I don't have any money now. I for sure wouldn't have any money out there. There's a lot of really good Facebook Marketplace stuff in Atlanta.
Well, dude, speaking of traffic, the other night, so we're going to the Luke Bryan concert, and me and Katie were already, I was going with Katie because she had like some tickets with her work or whatever.
Well, it's with the Brave Stadium, so she's got that for like the seat.
Yeah. The Brave Stadium, yep. And I was going or whatever, and my dad had some tickets, and we left at like 4:50 and made it down there by like 5:45 maybe. My dad left at 6.
I want to punch you in the face right now.
My dad left at bro, he left at 6:20. Now granted,
No, I left at 6:05.
6:05. And granted, he lives 30 minutes further from the stadium than I do, but it took him 3 hours to get an hour drive. 3 hours because of the traffic.
Dude, I'm going to tell you guys this. If you ever felt like ripping somebody's head off, listen, I don't care if I'm 52 or not. I had 20-year-old blood right then. And if anybody would even drove by me and looked at me the wrong way, I would have jumped out of the window of that car.
That poor Uber driver.
Dude. No, but I did, in all honesty, I got really lucky with this really nice man. And what was crazy about that, and I can't not say that without talking about this. So I get in this car with this guy, and he's super nice. I'm getting to know him. And he came from Mexico. He was he was a COO for some big manufacturers, vehicle manufacturers here in America, but they were manufacturing down in Mexico. He brought his family up here. It's a really cool story. But anyway, super nice guy. And I sent Tristan a picture of like showing him how long it was going to be on my Lyft ride, and it has the picture of the guy. And Tristan's like, he looks like a nice guy, and I'm like,
he looks like
I said, my son
guy.
Yeah, my son just said you're a nice guy. I go, I guess he's a pretty good judge of character, and he goes, yep, and he goes, does your son know when we're going to get to the Brave Stadium? And I'm like, I don't think he does, but no, dude, it was an experience, and getting there, and I just kind of settled in, honestly, and I was just like, man, there's nothing I can do about it. And there was a major storm coming through Atlanta right there at that time, but I ended up going to the concert and had an amazing experience. He did some stuff that I had never seen him do, some songs that he was singing, and we heard one of our favorite songs that he's never played, We Rode in Trucks. And if y'all haven't ever listened to that song, you need to. If you're listening to this podcast, you'll respect it. But an amazing concert. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah, he said it was one of the best nights of his life. So to hear that out of Luke Bryan, that's saying something.
That's big words. Yeah, that's big. That's big words. So, but no, man. So, Kate, let's dig down into this. So what's it looking like for your books? You know, I know you got a lot of openings, because we talked about that in the beginning, you know, how people just aren't booking. So are you giving away hunts now, or what's going on?
I might as well. You know, if I'm going to go bankrupt, I might as well have a good time doing it.
Free duck hunts.
So I got some. I'm not terrible, you know. I'm not. I'm not comfortable, but I'm not terrible. You know, it's just, we got margins to make.
Yeah.
We got money to make before, Christmas. Christmas Eve is the day that I've got to have a lot of stuff paid on. And along with that, there's costs that, side by sides and water bills and electric bills that,
Fuel.
I got to spend fuel. It's money I got to spend every, it's every month. 300, 12 months a year. Don't matter if there's duck hunters coming in or not.
Yep.
I gotta, it's
You
gotta
got to
be
prepare
paid.
for it. Yeah, you got to do it.
And but we got a lot of November dates. I put a thing on Facebook. Man, that's the thing. Usually I put something on Facebook, I get 2 or 3 phone calls, even BS phone calls. That's what I call them. They're people that call you and they ask about 30 questions, They'll ask you a bunch of stupid shit like what the temperature is going to be outside that day. What's the temperature going to be? What's the temperature going to be on January the 2nd, 2030?
Dude,
let me pull up the historical averages for you.
no,
Yeah.
people really do ask these dumbass questions.
No, like real shit that is like seriously, no way I'm gonna be able. Anyway, that's beside the point. But they usually them people that are gonna book, they call you. They say, how much is it? How much is the deposit? How many people do I need? Okay, I got this many people. I'll send you the deposit. What I need to do to send you a deposit. And then they ask you a bunch of questions like, what's the lodging like? What do we need to bring? What do we need to wear? I can kind of tell you ballpark stuff on what to wear, what to bring, I always tell everybody pack cold, pack in layers. That way, you can always take clothes off.
Yep.
Right.
But if you ain't got no clothes to put on, then you ain't got no clothes to put on, And in November, it's cool in the mornings, and then midday it'll warm up. It'll get, just depending on the year. Some days midday it'll be 70 degrees. Some day midday it'll be 50 degrees. Good Lord, I miss them winters where it was 50 degrees midday. Them were the times right there. But times are changing. But I kind of tell people. That they ask, how do you pack? What do we need to do here? Where do we need to be? Stuff like that after they pay their deposits. If they ask you all that shit before they book, they're not booking. They're calling you a lot of times.
Yeah.
Most of the times, if they ask you a bunch of questions, you're never going to hear from them again.
Right.
But but going back to how I got on that topic is I ain't even had no BSers call me. People that are just want to call to act like they're gonna book. I guess I don't know.
Bunch
I
of
haven't even
posers.
had them people, which is scary.
Yeah.
But no, we got some November dates. I think we've got some December dates, and we really need to fill them. I don't have much left of January. Good Lord. We have booked everybody that calls wants to come in January for some reason. And I mean, I get it, it's colder and the bigger ducks are here, but we shoot them ducks November, December. Sometimes, we'll shoot them all season. I like them seasons. It's not every year we shoot them like that.
Oh, last year we rocked
fun.
their ass. Opening weekend, dude, we rocked their ass.
Well, yeah, last year when it got colder, it got worse.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was like pretty much, it was just like, it'd kind of warm up and we'd shoot some ducks and they'd start to get cool again. I'd be like, it's about to turn on. It's going to be good for, we're going to have a 3 or 4 or 5, 10-day run, hopefully right here where we just start smacking them. And it would get good, and then it'd get mediocre again. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
I can't complain about last year. I haven't even counted how many ducks I killed last year. I've got the numbers, but I haven't even counted what we killed last year. I know it wasn't as good as the year before last, the 1,412 that we killed the year before last.
Yep, and 975 of those were green-winged teal.
Probably more than that, but
no, that wasn't that high, but
No, I remember it
A
was like
lot of 'em-
700.
a lot of 'em.
it was. There was a lot of green-winged teal, bro.
But hey, I'm a duck hunter. I'm not a mallard purist or pintail purist, or
You might be.
kinda am a
You might be.
spoonbill.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might be a
I kind of
spoon.
am a spoonbill purist. You know, I get a lot of them people that say, "Hey, man, can we just shoot the drakes?" I say, "Hell no. Them hens taste just like them drakes."
Hell no.
If you want to pick the drakes out, you can. But if you want me to shoot my limit, I'm gonna be killing whatever the hell lands in front of the gun barrel.
That's right.
That's
Ducks are
right.
ducks.
I'm a duck hunter. I don't care what their gender is. I don't care what kind they are. I'm a duck hunter. I like to shoot ducks. I don't discriminate.
100%.
But no, we got some November dates. We got some December dates. I've got some snow goose hunting. I got a lot of snow goose hunting available. I had a big group that was supposed to send me a deposit, and that was in March, and I was like, all right, I'm ready for the deposit now. And they never sent a deposit, so I'm assuming they don't want it. So their dates are now available, which opens up a lot of snow goose hunting. But I got a lot of snow goose conservation dates, which is in February. We got it where the license is free.
Yeah.
You come, you just get a snow goose. You got to have a license, but it's free. It's a snow goose conservation permit number.
And you don't
go
even need an
online.
Arkansas hunting license, right?
No, you don't need it.
You just got to have your safety.
I think you got to have a valid hunting license in a state.
Yep.
Somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, you gotta have a valid hunting license of some sort. I think. I don't know if it's still that way or not. But either way, the license is free. You don't have to have a stamp, no federal stamp, no duck stamp. You don't have to have any stamps or nothing like that. And there's no limits. You can have a gun that doesn't have a plug. You can put an extended tube on your gun and have a gun that holds 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 100,000, million, however many cells you can hold.
Do you know what that means to the South boys? Let me give you a big shout out to the South. That means you can bring the same gun used during regular duck season up here in Arkansas. that means you unplug guns, bring them on up, boys. No, but I want to speak on that for a minute because I got to experience snow goose from a totally different perspective last year by helping Kate out and stuff. And I want to tell y'all, man, I understand the addiction. After getting knee deep in it and getting to learn a lot from you last year, Kate, about how these animals work, it's a whole different ball game, and I love the challenge of it and just how they react, and they are the smartest damn waterfowl, because there's so many of them. They
are the smartest waterfowl that flies.
Yeah,
and you can do one thing one day that you think's going to work, and it just they don't care about it.
They flip you off.
You can't get them to work.
Yep.
And then the next day do the exact same thing because you don't know what else to do. You've tried every trick in the book, and the next day you try the same thing, and every one of them you see just right barrel right again. It makes no sense.
No, dude. But if y'all have not snow goose hunt before, like he's saying, especially like if you're on a budget right now, and man, there's not a better opportunity for you to go and shoot a lot and see stuff. And this is what you will see. This is one thing I can guarantee at Delta Thunder Outfitters. You will see numbers of waterfowl that if you have never seen that, I'm talking about snow goose specifically. If you've never seen that,
There'll be a bunch of ducks around then too, but you just can't hunt them. It's fun to look at them,
but the numbers of snow geese that we see is on epic proportion. I'm telling you guys, it's something that, you know, Kade lives there, and, you know, and I know he respects it, but if you aren't from there and you go there and see something like that, it's not uncommon to sit there and watch tens of thousands in great numbers. Now, you got to get them to come in, like Kade was saying. They're super smart, and there's a lot of eyes there. They're just looking for one thing wrong. But the epic proportion of numbers is something off of National Geographic. It's just amazing to see. And we drink a lot of beer when we do it too. Not while we're hunting, but it's just, if you're on a budget and you just want to get out and do a waterfowl hunt, I think it's a no-brainer when it comes to that. I mean, for the cost and everything else, and to be able to...
It's easy. It's a dry field,
Yep.
you know. It's one of my favorite. It's a lot of work because you got to put out a lot more decoys and a lot more stuff. But it is, when you do get that big group of snow geese that are working you, or it can even be speckle bellies. You know, you can't shoot speckle bellies, but they'll work you, and it just to see them work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 90% of the show. Like,
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love pulling that white gun up in the 10,000 geese within 5 yards of me and just shooting and watching chunks of shit fall out of it. Like, that's my favorite thing. But I mean, watching them get to that point
Yes.
it's
exhilarating, dude.
There's nothing else like it. There's nothing I can compare it to.
No, it's not like a duck falling out of the sky, dude. I mean,
It's not like watching ducks fall in there. It's not like watching, you know, them ducks. They don't work like them snow geese do. You know, they'll funnel down like a tornado's touching down in front of you.
Yep.
And it's not like watching ducks fall in. It's not like, you know, watching buck run a doe. It ain't like watching a turkey gobble across the field. It's just an experience that you just got to see it. Even if you see it one time in your life.
Yep.
I mean, you just got to see it.
Yep.
It's something that I really enjoy that time. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it just makes you want to rip your hair out of your head. But I mean, it can be fun. It can be some of the most fun waterfowl hunting you've ever done.
Yeah, I've only been like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 times, but man, I've had a great time. I mean, the day I've been fortunate enough to come out with you where we've had some, you know, not the big spin like you're talking about, but, you know, where you just pick them off consistently, you know, and it's a fun day.
Well, I mean, yeah, like, so even on a what some people call a slow day, anytime I can go shoot, this is a good hunt to me. Anytime, and this is duck hunting, this is goose hunting, it's whatever. Anytime I can pull the trigger a few times, like even if it's 2 or 3 volleys, that's a good hunt to me. Because I mean, there's been a lot of times I've gone hunting and not pulled the trigger. There's been some times I didn't even need to load my gun, you know, and it just makes you appreciate them times, you know, and then it makes you really appreciate the times where you did some shooting, you killed a bunch of birds or whatever. It really makes you really appreciate those times.
Yeah, yeah.
And I try to get everybody on those hunts. I promise you, if it was in my control, everybody'd have a hunt like that.
Right.
But all as I can tell you is that we got really good property that we're very fortunate to lease. Extremely fortunate to lease. And the opportunities there, the best I can tell you is come out and try it, and you know, hopefully we can get you on some birds. If we can't, I can guarantee you we'll have a good time.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's about it. I tell you, just like, you know, Glenn Hambrick, I tell you, we can't guarantee you a duck or a goose, but I can guarantee you a good time.
Yeah, yeah. And if you don't have a good time, that's your fault.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Man, I've been thinking about. I miss that guy.
Yeah, he's still crazy. I talk to him about once a week.
Listen up, guys. Waterfowl season will be here before you know it, so book a hunt today. Williamson Outfitters offers exceptional duck hunting along Florida's Forgotten Coast, targeting redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, canvasbacks, and much, much more. Lodging and fishing packages are also available. Mention the One Hell of a Life podcast when booking and get 15% off your next trip. Spots are filling up fast, so call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com.
Yeah, we haven't. Well, I haven't talked to him since February.
I talked to him a couple weeks back, and it seemed like he was doing a lot better than the last time I'd seen him.
Good.
You know, I mean, we're all concerned there. Later in the season, he had some things happen, and we're starting to see the age catch up to him a little bit. I guess we'll keep that general as that, and you know, he's a big part of the experience. That's for sure.
He's a big part of what we do and everything. You know, there's a lot of folks that hunt with me just to come cut up with Glenn.
Yeah,
Right.
I believe
the
that.
Duck hunting, going hunting's a bonus. That's just something to pass the time until the next night, or they can sit around the fire and, you know, talk with Glenn, because you go around him and it's just like, you know, it's like dealing cards. You don't know what card he's going to deal that night. You know, he ain't no telling what he's going to say or what he's going to do. But he's a big factor in what in the business. You know, he's a big factor, and he helps out a lot. He helps out a lot more than what he thinks he does. You know, he's a big factor.
I mean, he's the one. I mean, there's been several times, like I was up there, you know, guiding with you. You know, there's times where he's like, Tony. I'm like, what? And he goes, you got any firewood for these people coming in? I'm like, no. He goes, then get on in the truck and come on over here, over to Billy Bob's, and get this damn firewood over there. And I'll be like, all right. I was like, Kade, Mr. Glenn said we have to get firewood. He goes, well, go get the firewood. You know, but he does stuff like that because he wants the people to have a good experience, you know.
He wants to be able to sit around that fire too. But still, I mean, that's helping. You know, the little things, that's the hard thing, man. So when you're trying to keep watering duck fields and stuff like that, remember, okay, I'm letting this much water out of this pipe, and I need to go plug it by 11:30 tonight. I need to go back out there, and I need to stop it up completely. And you're trying to remember little things like that.
And 10 people
On
just
top of
left
that,
and doing the laundry.
You don't remember the man. Are the dishes done at the lodge?
Yep.
Or
The
are
laundry.
the beds made?
Yep.
Or you know, is there firewood? Is there, you know, like you got 700 things going on at one time, and you know, you get back, and a lot of times I'll be like, yes, I'm done. I got done what I need to get done, and then Glenn, hey, we need some firewood. Damn.
And he just tells you to do it, and you have to do it.
Yeah, you can't. You
He's like,
tell Glenn no.
No, he's the commander in chief. No doubt, man.
No, he's a hoot though. He helps out a lot more than what he thinks he does, and it really is a big help. It takes a lot to keep all this going, but another big factor is you, the client. You know, it's important that we got clients. You know, without clients, we couldn't afford to pay for what we got. Keep it going.
Yep.
You know, and I'm sure that, you know, there'll be people call within the next. There'll be a lot of phone calls in September. There always is, and there'll be even more late October.
FOMO.
And then like a week before duck season, there will be a massive amount of phone calls. It'll be people, you know, man, and then like the first week of duck season too, there'll be people calling, man, we came out here to hunt public land and there's too many people. I'm like, have you ever been here before? Yeah, we come out here last year and there was too many people. Yeah, I know. Well, we wanting to hunt. Well, I'm sorry, I ain't got nowhere. You waited too late. I had a guy call me the other day. it's been about 2 weeks ago. He said, "Yeah, I wanted to call and get on the ball early," and I just kind of started laughing. I was like, "You're not really early, buddy."
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to get on it early before season come in. Well, you're not very early. I had people booking. I had some people book. This has been a strange year, but there ain't been nothing normal about this year yet. There ain't been nothing normal about 2024 yet. But I've had people call all throughout the summer, and 1 week you might book 2 or 3 people and then not book nobody for a week, 2 weeks. And then you might, after that might have 5 people call you and book. And it's been a strange year. But all I'm saying is if you're thinking about booking a duck hunt or a goose hunt or Bigfoot, we'll do about anything for you if you want to hunt. If you want to hunt any of that, you need to get on it now because the dates are there. But I mean, I'm confident that they're not going to be there very long.
Right.
Yep.
And this has just been a strange year. Like I was saying just a minute ago, right now there's some availability. I'm not gonna lie and say book it right now. It's they're buying it up like hotcakes because they're not. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and make it sound like there's just a giant hot demand. There's not right now, but there will be. People go duck hunting. Trust me.
You know what? Something occurred to me, Kate, about you have a guarantee that's not even listed. And what I will tell you guys this, just speaking from as a witness, and Kate did this even with somebody within our family. If you book it and you think, man, I'm not sure, I don't know if the weather's going to be right, and I need to do late season, all this stuff's going through your head, like, because I know that you're like so concerned about that dollar that you're spending. You worked hard for it. Here's what this guy will do. If it sucks, he's going to call you and tell you.
If there's
Don't
just
come.
absolutely no opportunity, if I don't see that there's any opportunity,
Yep.
I canceled like 10 or 11, 12 days. I don't remember what it was last year.
Because that
And
freeze.
just told them to come. Yeah. And just told them to come this year because I don't want to sit out there and freeze to death with you and us just not kill anything. That's
Right.
not fun. That's not fun
It's
for
a waste
you.
of your money.
That's not fun for me. And it makes me look bad too. Man, he let us come out here. There wasn't a duck in the country. I just don't do that. I know people that do that. They hunt no matter what. If they got an ice eater in a hole, they're hunting.
Yep.
But I just don't fight it. It's not worth fighting it.
Yep.
If there's an opportunity, then I will tell you, come on, there's an opportunity. And if there's just absolutely no opportunity, then I will call you and say, don't do it. Don't waste your time.
Yep.
And whether if you want to do it, come on, I'll do it. And we'll hunt. I'll hunt as hard as I can with you. And I'll do everything I can to get you in front of a bird. I tell everybody all the time, Shay Schuler, his group, it was a year before last, the opening week of duck season, it was just hot. Tony, Tristan, y'all were both there.
Yep.
And I had 4 pits hunting the opening morning. We killed 4 ducks.
Yep.
And that was in the first 5 days of season. And we didn't kill another. That was on the opening day. We killed 4 ducks. And then that Sunday, we didn't kill anything. That Monday, we didn't kill anything. That Tuesday, we didn't kill anything. And that Wednesday, we didn't kill anything. And Tony came back and hunted he spent Thanksgiving with me.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and hunted a pit and just hunted because we wanted to be at Thanksgiving dinner. We hunted at 8 o'clock and we killed, what was it, like 1 mallard, 1 or 2 mallards, and then like 2 specks or something like that.
Yep.
And I mean, we killed that. And I was thinking, this right here's a step up from the last few days.
Yeah, no, what you said was
you
said we shot the same amount of birds in one hunt that I've hunted 5 days out of 4 pits and killed.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't that, I had pits hunting, but it wasn't that the opportunity wasn't there. You were seeing ducks.
You didn't see
You
her.
would see the ducks. You would see them. They're there. They just did not pay any attention to you.
Mm-mm.
They didn't care.
Nope, they didn't care.
And then that Thursday we hunted, we killed them ducks, and I called Shay Schuler, and I said, Shay, I was like, and he had a pretty big group. I think there was like 7 of them or something, 8, something like that. I said, don't come. I'm like, it's awful. And I was trying to cancel people before then, but they were already here. They've been hunting on public land and then just wanted to, their last few days here hunt private. And they hunted anyway, even though I told them don't do it. Well, Shay, they're down there in Mississippi, central Mississippi. And he was like, well, we done cleared it with our wives and took off work and all that stuff. He said, we're coming. We don't care. We're coming. I said, all right, Shay, that's fine. Well, so we went and hunted a pit. It was me, you, and Colton, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who else? Or was it just us 3?
No, the first day it was just me and you, Colton. That's when the ducks were landing on the side by side.
We threw. I just threw a Hail Mary and we went and hunted a different pit and there was ducks there. Didn't have a clue, and I sent them over to a pit that we hadn't hunted in a couple of days, and we shot our 3-man limit, and I was like grinning from ear to ear coming out of there, and I was gonna, it was like 8:00. And we were heading back to the lodge. We got back to the lodge at like 8:45, and I was like, well, y'all, if y'all want to grab your stuff and come on, well, I got a pit over here. It's hot. We just shot a 3-man. He said, we're done. I said, y'all done hunting for the day? He goes, no. He said, we can't shoot no more. We're limited out. I said, what the hell are you talking about? He said, we shot a 7-man. We were done by 7:45 this morning. I was like, no way. There's no way. Walked over to the bench, and they got a pile of ducks, and they done took a picture on every piece of farm equipment.
And dude, they shot a big variety of species.
You saying the whole county?
Oh yeah, the whole county. They done took a picture on every tractor, combine, every tractor implement in the whole city of Cache. They done took a picture on it.
So that's like probably 11 pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
Have you been through Cache?
So it's great they shot a limit at all, but to me, you don't get how much of a relief that is when your guys, when they go out and you see that they're having a better time than you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I try to have a good time any time. But when you see your guys that, they paid money and they're having a better time than you are. I mean, I could not be getting paid any money. That's just the best feeling in the world. That's the greatest when.
But don't you make a great point there? I'm sorry, Cade.
Well, that was my whole point. I told them not to come, and they shot that. That was their first day, or they were done by like we got done at like what 10:00 or something like that.
No,
and then
we got done real late because that was the pit that we hunted early, and then you said you watch. And it was about
and like 8:00 they come that we started shooting.
Oh yeah, yep.
And then we got back late, and then they got back, and they'd had that.
They've been back for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, and then the next day they shot out again, but it was faster than the first day.
Yeah,
wow.
And they were asking me where to buy more shells and everything, and I was like, "Good, that's a good problem to have right there."
Right.
And that's what I try to get with anybody. But just because I've been wrong, I could say, man, I think it's going to get good, and it could be worse. And I could say, man, and you can, I need to get Shay on this podcast one night and have him talk about it.
Oh, man,
I really want
to
do that.
But the continuation,
I really want to do that.
But the continuation there,
that'd be great.
It would be. But the continuation there that I think it's important to note about that season is that, number one, dude, it can turn on and off on the flip of a dime.
It can turn on. It can turn on in a minute. You
In
can
a
go
minute.
from 0 to 100.
Absolutely. And I've been on specific hunts where we sat there all morning long and grinded it out. And then all of a sudden, 11 o'clock or something, shit went crazy. But here's my point with it. That was the same season that you shot the record number of ducks that you all shot.
and I told you that first 3 days, if you'd have said, and you can go back and listen to the other podcast.
Yeah.
I know I've said this before on this podcast, but if you'd have went back and said, "Hey, do you think you're going to kill 1,400 ducks this season?" I'd have said, "No way.
Yeah.
There's no way." And we did. We did. We shot. It picked up then, and it didn't stop. It
No.
when the weather would change and it'd get warmer, I'm thinking, this is it right here. We're screwed. It's gonna get terrible after this. It'd get even better. I mean,
just the opposite.
I ain't seen a duck season like it since then to compare it to.
Yep.
I haven't seen one to compare it to. I can tell you that's how growing up. That's how it used to be. I mean, it would go when the ducks got here, and you can ask the old timers when the ducks got here. It'd be like October. And they'd be here until, they'd shoot them all season long, but it just ain't like that no more. Of course, there's a lot more people duck hunting now,
Yep.
And, but now, growing up, I remember going with my granddaddy and we'd kill 10 or 12 ducks or 8, 10, 12 ducks. He'd be like, well, and it'd be like 7:30. He'd be like, well, we tried. It was all right.
Are you shitting me?
Hell, I didn't know no better. We'd be unloading our guns and we'd be up to the restaurant 8 o'clock. Y'all killing ducks? No, it wasn't very good. Wasn't very good. We killed 8 or 10. We didn't do very good.
By 7:30.
Nowadays, I beg for 8. If I could kill 8 or 10 a day, that'd be a great season to me.
Yeah.
Right?
To anybody.
Like literally, if you're going to complain about killing 8 or 10 ducks a day, you don't need to be a duck hunter. You don't need to be a hunter, period.
Yep. There was I'm going to butcher the quote, but I saw something that was a Fred Bear quote. And basically what it was saying was like, if you're only focused on the actual harvest of it, then you're missing the whole point of being a hunter to begin with. Like that whole journey.
You're missing 90%.
Yeah, 90%.
10%
Like you were
of
saying,
it.
kid.
Yeah.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
Yeah, no, I think that's a solid point, is that 10% of it is, actually, if you've got deer hunting, you could probably mill it down to about 1 to 5% of it's actually taking the shot and killing that animal.
Shit, not even that.
Yeah.
Probably
Less than a
0.5.
percent.
Yeah. You're talking 30 seconds.
Everything else is part of the experience. So saddle up.
Yeah.
Saddle up.
Well, like I don't know how many times I've been on here and said that, but like his hunt was the greatest example that I could ever set for anybody. Just because I say, man, I don't think it's going to be good. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong, and we're coming anyway, and show up, and it'd be the best hunt ever. I also could say, I think it's going to be very good, and it could be the worst hunt ever.
Right.
I try not to. I don't ever try to. I never try to say that. Man, hunting's going to be amazing tomorrow. I never try to tell anybody that. I don't.
You never
Because-
overhype it.
Whenever you say that, that's when it comes back and karma kicks in and bites you right in the ass.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I've in all my time of duck hunting and just not even just hunting with you, hunting anywhere, any of the time, I would venture to say that almost every time I've thought that it was gonna be insane. It might still be all right, but I've never thought that it was gonna be insane. and then it just was insane. Most of the times I get let down, and it's like the times that I don't think it's going to be good, kind of to your point, that, you know, then you limit out, you know?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of the times that you have just a really good hunt, you don't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's because of the Lord of the Ducks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's the Lord of the Ducks that controls all things, and dude, he humbles me. He just does.
I think sometimes it's like, yeah, we'll let him kill some ducks today, and then we shoot some, and we're like, yeah, and then the weather didn't do anything. It doesn't change. It doesn't. There's still ducks around. There's just all the elements are right, and you go out there and you just can't. Whatever you do, you just can't get them to decoy. You can throw your decoys around. You can do what you. Just sometimes you just, no matter what you do, you can't get them to do it, you know. And then there's sometimes you just don't even try. There's sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, there's been some times that Tony and Tristan have come down here and I'm like, God, I don't want to duck hunt. I just want to get through this season. I'm tired. I'm wore out. It has sucked the last 2 days, and then we go out there and mop them.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep, for sure.
it's how it is sometimes.
Yeah, we've made, you know, there's been a lot of trips out to Cache, Arkansas over the last 3 years, and, you know, there's been a handful of them that we drive out there and, you know, you just don't raise your gun, and then there's been a lot of them that have been, you know, kind of like you said, Cade, you know, you might kill a handful, and then there's been a handful of them that we've beat the shit out of them, you know.
Well, I can
and
tell you that.
that's why they keep you coming back, you know. You just never really know.
That's the thing. It's just like playing a lottery, you know, coming out here and duck hunting. You know, you just got it. You got to buy the ticket, and when y'all buy the ticket, that's y'all driving out here
Yep.
and hunting. And you know, you just don't know what you're going to scratch off. You know, you might scratch off the jackpot, you might win a couple bucks, or you might just have a loser.
Right.
You know, it's same. It's just like playing the lottery. But I guarantee you hunt anywhere else, it's the same way. There's nowhere that's just 100% of the time you're just going to shoot a limit just every time.
Same thing with fishing, man. I mean, it's the same thing, right? I mean, it's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But you know, here's the thing, and I don't know if everybody listening to this thinks about this, but you know, from a pawpaw perspective, 52 years old, I can look back and I don't remember the ducks I shot, man. I mean, I don't. I remember a choice few that are up there on the wall, you know, but I'll tell you what, my mind is flooded with ADD of incredible memories. And that's what it's all about. The people that we meet, the folks that you learn. I mean, y'all, you got to dive into that to really understand that part of what we do. Duck hunting is waterfowl hunting is such a communal sport. It's so different. I mean, you get that at deer camp, you know, and we all have those special times and love those things and stuff. But man, you're not going to remember the ducks. You're not going to, and the years are going to go by. And the thing you're going to pull the most out of that is like, who did I meet? What were the friendships I made? You know, and if y'all don't, I mean, Cade and Tristan and I, you know, we talk all year long. You know, I mean, it's an all year long thing, you know, and had we not went out and made that one hunt with Cade, we would be sitting right on this podcast right now, you know, and that's the most valuable thing to me.
Yep.
You know, and y'all get out there and come shake our hands, come out there and shake Cade's hands, go shake Mr. Glenn's hand. Come out there.
You might get on a video. You might get on a 0 Duck 30 video.
That's right. That's right.
It could possibly happen.
You might be on Carbon TV. No, I'm just kidding. No, but for real, that's
maybe live PD, but
hey, you might be on Cops, brother.
Well, it depends which vocal you're hanging out with, I guess.
Yeah, you ain't gonna catch me on there, but if you hang out with this asshole, you might.
No, you wouldn't be. You would like. I would like really. If Cade's like, dude, I just looked on TikTok, saw the body cam of your truck doing the burnout down
out of the Sonic parking lot.
Out of Sonic parking lot in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I guarantee it's Tony Vogel.
Hey, speaking of, you know, that first hunt or whatever, but we got the segment on the podcast we're doing now presented by Venku where, the thing about Venku is it's kind of like Airbnb for hunters. And I know I've said this before, but you are basically booking your hunt with an outfitter. They connect you with the outfitter. You can look at all the details and all that stuff. But for outfitters, they also provide all the back end, invoicing and calendar and all that good stuff.
Website setup. Yep.
Now, the whole point of this is to say that Venku, what we're calling the segment is what's your favorite outdoor story or what's your favorite memory? And Kate, I know you're full of them. And man, if you had to, I don't even know if I know the answer to this, but like I've heard the one about, you killing your first 2 mallards and one of them being banded, which maybe.
Oh, I don't remember what. If you asking me what my favorite hunt's been on, that's a hard question because
I
I've
know.
been on.
If it doesn't
I've been on
include
some
us,
good
you're
ones.
an asshole.
I've been on some bad ones too. I've been on some good ones.
What's your favorite, like in recent memory?
What's your favorite
in the last 5 years?
What's your favorite legal hunt? I'm just kidding.
Oh, I ain't got one. No. Golly, I don't know, man. I when I was a kid, I had a bunch of really good hunts with my grandfather and everything. A bunch of them. Man, my favorite hunt would probably have to be. I'll say from a guiding perspective, I guess. Well, no. So I got a good one. that I can think of. It's a really good one. So 2015-16 season.
Okay.
That whole season was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, there was me and my good friend Dylan Elrod, still buddies with him. He's my best friend today. And then another good buddy of mine, Lucas Christian. We was all we were seniors in high school, and it was our senior year, so we didn't really have much to do as it was. But the duck hunting was absolutely phenomenal. And we got to do for high schoolers, got to do a lot of duck hunting. And I just remember the opening day of that 2015-16 season right there. I was guiding a little bit for my stepdad and his crew out there. And the opening week, I didn't really, they do all self-guided stuff the opening week because not all the guides are in first. So I kind of would go out there and take my buddies hunting and everything. Well, we went duck hunting in this pit. And that opening day, I had never in my life, and I'd always wanted to. I'd never killed a hooded merganser. I'd never killed a wood duck at that time. I've killed about, probably 6 or 7 of them now. But I'd never killed a hooded merganser, never killed a wood duck, and never killed a redhead. That was it, a redhead. And that opening morning, I'll never forget it. I had, so my senior ring, I didn't have a senior ring. I'd always wanted a Benelli Super Vinci. And my mom got me one for my senior ring because my buddy that had graduated the year before, Kel Love, he's passed away now. That's what his mom did for him. He said, "You ain't going to wear no ring." He's like, "Yeah, you're right. I ain't going to wear no ring."
Man, that's a bunch of shit right now, dude. I'm so mad. I don't want that damn. Tiny still got that damn ring. Can I trade that Super Vinci you got for my ring? I'm just kidding. No, sorry, Kate. Go ahead.
But that's what my mom kind of did. She was like, "You'd rather have a gun than a ring," which I said, "Yeah, I'd wear it one time, which is to graduate.
God bless her.
It'd never get seen again." And she was like, "I'm totally cool with it." So I went and I'm just trying to give you all the details of the story because that's what makes it the ultimate story. But so I got my Benelli Super Vinci. I found a guy that is a buddy of my stepdad's. he'd won one at a DU banquet. It was brand new in the box, and he'd never shot it and didn't care to shoot it because he's a Beretta guy, from what I understand. He likes some bigger, bulkier shotguns. And I had a Benelli Super Black Eagle 2 that is absolutely, at the time, it was just absolutely wore out. I mean, the gluing was gone off of the sides of it. I mean, there was literally, the metal was showing on the sides of it, on the barrel from leaning it up against the metal duck pit. Just so many days, it was just wore out. And I've still got that gun, still use that gun. I got it receracoated and everything. But anyway, I'm getting off the topic. Got the Super Vinci. It was sweet. I dove hunted with it. We teal hunted. I teal hunted with it. And I mean, I was just stoked to shoot the shotgun. And because I liked the way that it felt. I really like my Benelli Super Black Eagle 2, but I really like that Benelli Super Vinci. And so we went out that opener of 2015, 2016. And the day before, it was just really, everybody was concerned because there just wasn't many ducks around. There was a lot of fields that were flooded, but we'd ride around the night before duck season and just look at people's fields, because you can take the gravel roads and just go look at stuff. And we went and ride around, and I mean, there was no ducks anywhere. I mean, you might run into a handful of them just sitting out in the middle of a field. When I mean a handful of them, I mean like 5, 8, something like that. And everybody that we were talking to, man, there just ain't no ducks. So we go hunting the next morning. I got my new gun and everything, my senior ring. And I'll never forget it. It was overcasty. It was kind of drizzling rain. And we were sitting there in this pit. And I can't remember who all was hunting with us. There was about 4 or 5 of us. And we were sitting there. And this spoonbill comes in and starts to light way out in front of the decoys. And this is well after shooting time. And we ain't heard no shots going on around us nowhere. And I had that new Kicks High Flyer Extra Full, and that I had in that gun. And I said, I'm gonna shoot that one. And my buddy Cal, he goes, no way you're going. I said, I'm gonna shoot that one out there on the water. He goes, ain't no way. And I put that bead about 3 foot over his head, pulled the trigger, boom, and that bird just laid there, didn't move. He was like, oh my God. I said, yeah. So then I'm walking out there to pick the spoonbill up. And there's some ducks flying way up there. He goes, Kade. And it was like a dove hunt. I looked way up, and I mean, there were some ducks just flying, and they were not paying attention to us. They were just flying, minding their own business. And I said, I think I can hit one of those. So I pulled my gun up, put about a 4-foot lead in front of it, pulled the trigger, boom. One of them went pop and hit the water. And they were all hooping and hollering, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, hollering back and everything. And I go over and pick the duck up. It's a hooded merganser. And I was like, oh my God. I was flipping out. And they were like, that's neat. And I was like, yeah. I said, I've never killed a hooded merganser, ever. Well, then about that time, here comes some more. They were just flying over, just like, you know how geese fly over the top of you, just not minding any business? Mm-hmm. Them ducks were doing the same thing. And everybody, boom, 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 was shooting at them high ducks. And then they started picking some out was the thing. We'd kill 2 or 3 out of every flock that come over. And then we had all these hooded mergansers. And everybody was looking up the rules on them because they're not like there's kind of like a coot limit or something like that, right?
I think so.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I guess is how
I think they
it
have
was,
their own limit. Yeah.
Well, maybe at the time it's something like you can have 3 of them, or I don't know. I don't know how it was, but everybody was sitting there looking it all up. And then we were doing that. These ducks kept flying over, and that was all we were seeing. And we kept doing that because, it was the only thing we were seeing. Well, they're sitting there looking at all this. I'm like, guys, get ready. And here come a big flock of teal. Come right, and I mean, just the ducks started coming out of the woodworks then. I mean, they just showed up. And we started shooting ducks. And then we had one big group of ducks come in there. I killed the first one. And the only reason I know that I killed the first one is because I was sitting on the left end of the pit and the duck was directly to the left of me. And the rest of the flock was on the front right side of the pit. And everybody was shooting into the big flock. I got off and shot at that one. And everybody saw that they had red heads and they thought canvasbacks. And that's something that we got them around here. We just don't kill them every day.
Right.
I'm still trying to pursue a canvasback. I have not killed one. I have been in a pit a couple of times where one has been killed, but I personally have not killed one. Well, so everybody shoots. We light this group up. And my dog runs out there and gets them, brings them back. They're all redheads. And I was like, that's two of them I ain't never killed before. At the time, I'd never killed a redhead, never killed a hooded merganser. So we didn't kill our limit, but we got close, and just duck season was magical back then. The night before we'd be cooking out and everything like that. And it was just neat. And about 11 o'clock, we got done hunting, and we didn't quite have our limit, but we were pretty close. We were happy with what we got. And we come out of there, and my other buddy, his name's Brandon Perkins. I don't know if y'all haven't ever met him, but he was a good friend of mine. And he called me, and he was farming for this guy right down the road. And I told him, the farmer pretty much said, you can hunt all these fields. And he'd flood this one field back there. But there was this one big rice field that was to the south of it. And it had kind of like an old slough that run through it. And I told him, I was like, dude, you need to flood not only that field, but just stop the pipes up and flood that field too. And he didn't listen to me for like 2 years. And finally he did. And they shot some ducks out there that morning. I don't know how many, but they'd shot some ducks. And he called me. He said, yeah, me and Dad and so. He had some people come out there. So we killed some ducks in that field you told me to flood. And I was like, yeah, I told you. He said, yeah, there was a bunch of ducks out there. And he was like, you want to go hunt it this afternoon with me? I said, yeah, I'll go with you. Went out there, did not see a duck. Not one fly over, nothing. And we were sitting there. He didn't have a pit or a blind or nothing. We were just sitting up against this tree line. And I'm sitting there, and, we're just talking. And all of a sudden, I look over the mojo, and there's a duck behind the mojo. And I just picked my gun up, boom, shot it. Nobody knew what I was shooting at. Boom, duck folds up. And Brandon's dog runs out there and gets it. He goes, it's a great wood duck. And I was like, I'll be hot down. I said, I've done
in the
killed
afternoon?
3. Yeah, in the
That's
afternoon.
even crazier.
I said, and that was the only duck we saw and killed that whole afternoon. I said, that's the first time. I said, I got 3 ducks I ain't never killed before. And so leading this story up, following the story up. So I had a taxidermist. He passed away just a couple months ago, and real good guy. He's done a lot of work for me over the years. A lot of deer mounts, a lot of duck mounts, just a lot of stuff. And he passed away just a couple weeks ago. And the deer, he'd get my deer back real fast. Now, he was a really busy taxidermist, and I was buddies with his son. And he'd cut me kind of a deal.
Yeah.
Well, the bad thing about cutting a deal is you can't rush nobody that's cutting you a deal,
Right.
You can't be like, where's my duck? Even though you're giving me 25% off or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. Might have been 50. I really don't know. But you can't call them and rush it. So I'd be like, here, I got some ducks I want mounted. This is how I want them mounted. He'd be like, all right, I'll get to them when I get to them. He mounted several ducks for me over the years and did a good job. A lot of pintails, a lot of mallards I got mounted by the guy, and did a fantastic job. And so he passed away a couple months ago, and I had a few mounts. So my dad and my brother killed deer last year, and I took them to him and got them Euro mounted. But he still had some ducks. I knew he still had some ducks of mine because I don't know how many ducks and geese and stuff I brought him over the years. But I knew that I didn't remember him, getting them all done. I knew I still had some ducks. So when I went over there to his wife or whatever was getting the ducks and everybody and deer and stuff for people to pick up, I picked up the deer because I knew I had the deer. I said, and I asked her, I said, do I have any ducks left here? And she goes, I don't know. Let me look on the list right here. She pulls out this big giant binder and a ticket from 2015 with those ducks. She's like, yeah, they're back here in this freezer right here. And pulls them out. And I thought, they're old. They're not going to be good. They're not going to be easy to mount. So I'll just put it at this. I'm not going to name any names, but I talked to another taxidermist and sent her some pictures and stuff. And she's currently working on some birds that I gave her last year. She comes hunt with me and does some taxidermy work for me. Really nice girl. I'm not going to name no names because I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not. Because she does like taxidermy, from my understanding, she does taxidermy for like a competition. She doesn't do it. She doesn't have like a shop and charge people and mount. Like she does these mounts for people. Like if you got something unique, she mounts it. And as long as you let her show it, in these taxidermy competitions, when she's done with it, you can have the mount back. I messaged her on Facebook or Instagram or something the other night. And I was like, and I told her the whole story. I'm like, I got these ducks that are old, they're however old, 10 years old. Do you think you can do something with them? And she was like, send me some pictures. So I pulled them out of the bag that I still had them in the bags that I brought them, which were vacuum sealed bags. And I took some pictures of it. She's like, oh yeah. She said, I can make them look fine. I said, even being that old? She said, yeah. She said, they'll have to have fake bills and fake feet and stuff like that.
That's pretty standard.
She said, I can. So that was like a big relief because like that one in particular day was that whole season. I mean, I could tell you some stories from that whole season that were just amazing. I mean, there was days that whole year, I mean, it was just magical. There wasn't a time that we went duck hunting that whole year. I don't remember. I've got it written down somewhere. But I'd been duck hunting, and I was in high school too. But I had duck hunted like 48 days out of the 60. And that was being in high school. And it was just how I had my schedule set up. We had agri the first couple periods, and our agri teacher would let us come in a little late because he all knew we were duck hunters. And then in my study hall, which was 7th period, if we had anything that we had to get done for agri, we'd get it done in that 7th period. Now, if we didn't have nothing that 7th period study
Gabe,
hall,
we're not going to tell your mom about this, all right? So you can just admit that you skipped.
She already knows. She already knows. But yeah, if we didn't have nothing to do in agri, we had that 7th period study hall, we'd cut out and go duck hunting in the evening. Because, I mean, we duck hunted. Where all my stepdad's stuff is. It's right behind my high school.
Yeah.
Like, you could literally see my high school from the duck pit. That's how close it was. There'd be some days that I'd skip school just completely. I'd be sick, quote unquote, sick. And
Cade Bueller's day off.
I'd be, there'd be days I'd be sitting there in the duck pit and all my buddies would be in school. And that was right at the area, Snapchat was getting to be a big thing. And everybody was Snapchatting each other. And I'd send them old Snapchat. Y'all had fun in school today. It'd be a picture of the high school from the duck pit. And it was just, them were the days, man. That was before, technology really screwed this whole world up. It did. But that was right before it all went just completely haywire. And everybody thought, now everybody thinks they're dogs and cats and shit. And there's more than 2 genders. We didn't do that shit, man. We beat their ass up. And they said some shit like that. Them were the good days right there.
Right on. Man, dude,
I don't think there's anybody that can quite tell a story better than you, Cade. And honestly, like, I wish that we could do like 2 podcasts a week and have Kate on once a week.
No,
I wish you could too.
Hey, Kate,
I enjoy reliving it. That's what I do. I
Yeah.
relive it when I'm telling it to you. I can remember being there, and that's what makes it.
That's what it's all about.
yeah,
That's what duck hunting's supposed to be about. You know, people come and they want to kill all these damn ducks. I mean, you just heard my story. We didn't even kill a limit.
And you killed
After that, we killed
mergansers.
one duck. Yeah. That was one of my favorite. That's one detailed duck hunt, and I've got several of them I can go back and tell in detail. I mean, I know I've told y'all some of them, but that's what it's about. There's some duck hunts that I didn't even kill a duck on.
yeah.
You know, that were I can name some we were talking about poodoo earlier, before we got on the podcast. There's some duck hunts that I've been on with poodoo that we didn't fire a shot. We didn't see a duck, but it was just the commentary was hilarious.
I can only imagine.
That I don't know if I need to tell on your podcast because you'd probably be demonetized. But it was just the stories, the camaraderie, the everything, man. It was just amazing, and I hope we get back to them days because it's just duck hunting's gotten so commercialized since then. It wasn't as commercialized back then either, you know, as it is now. Yeah. Everybody and their brother has a guide service nowadays.
Yep.
And it'll only continue to get worse, you know.
Yep. And I think it's important to talk about that real quick is the fact that those there's a lot of, I call them in and outers, right? That dive into it and go, oh shit. Just like what me and Tristan do with the media and the the podcast and the film and the hunts and all that stuff. You know, if you all think that going out and creating a brand is just, I just want to go out and film my hunts.
Well, my dad owns some farmland and it's got some duck pits on it. I'm gonna be a duck guide. That's great, but do you know how to be a duck guide?
Right.
Do you know how to make people happy? Do you know how to please them?
Yep.
I'm not claiming to be the greatest at pleasing people because there's some people that I just can't. There's some people that I've had that I have tried to just, I want this, and then we go and do it, and they're still not happy.
Well, there's a saying for that. You can't please everybody.
Some people, I know, and there's been some people that and I'm not even talking about, we went out there and didn't kill nothing and they weren't happy. Yeah, that happens sometimes, but I've had some people that came and killed the shit out of ducks, out of geese, and still weren't happy about it. And I don't know what else to do for you.
Yep.
We sat there, we cut up, we had a good time, we shot some birds. I did everything I could on my part. I don't know what else you want from me.
Right.
There's just some people you're not going to please.
That's right.
And that's what people don't understand. They think, I'm going to start a guide service and I'm a duck killer. And, I'm just going to have the best, greatest guide service ever. And they put up, we got some duck pits and it's $300 a gun and we ain't got no lodging, or we got lodging and it's another whatever a night. I don't know. I don't understand how people come up with their pricing. How I come up with my pricing is when I first started, I was like, how much would I pay to hunt with me? That was the way that I thought.
$1 million.
And I was sitting there in a duck pit with some guys, friends of mine, like close friends. And I was like, if you guys were paying me to be here right now in this duck pit hunting, how much would you be willing to pay? And they all said numbers, and I thought they were a little high. And I was like, Well, then I started guiding and everything like that, and I was selling hunts. And a lot of people were like, damn, you're cheap. And I was like, yeah. Well, back then, too, the economy was great, and I could afford to sell cheap duck hunts. Now, I am scraping the fuck by. I mean, scraping. Yeah. And I had to up my price a little bit this year to make ends meet.
Right.
Like there's no other choice. I could sit down with you if you're an accountant, if you're whatever, if you're Donald Trump, whatever the hell you are. If you sit down and show me a number at what I was charging last year per gun, to break even, to even get to the even mark, I want you to come and show me. Because I sat down there and worked it out 100 different ways on a sheet of paper and an Excel on my computer, and it literally just did not work with the numbers that we were at, and I had to bump it up. I said, at first I was like, I'm gonna bump it up $25, and it kind of did okay, but it didn't factor in all the little costs like gas and side-by-side payments and stuff, so I had to go up $50. But that'll be, unless something happens like if Kamala gets elected, you ain't got to worry about me guiding anymore. I'm going to go get rear-ended and claim disability for the rest of my life and not do anything is what I'm going to do if that happens. But, yeah.
No, that's good.
It just, I don't plan on going any. I don't like charging what I do now, which I charge $250. And that's just to cover the paying the guides, paying the side-by-sides, paying the duck hunting leases. And then the $40 a night is a totally different deal. It all 100%, all the lodging goes to the lodging. It goes to the
Mr. Glenn's pocket.
It goes to Mr. Glenn. It goes to, my other guy that I lease the lodge from. It goes to the electric, the water. Like right now, I'm having to fix the damn septic system at the other lodge because it's leaking out in the field. Yeah, it's a mess. I got a big mess out there. I'm really hoping that my guy I lease from doesn't come out there and go, what in the hell is going on? Because I know if it was my place, if I owned it, that's what I'd do. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the septic's leaking, and it's just leaking into the field right behind there. It's supposed to leak. It's supposed to come out the pipe. It's just not. I don't want it to come out directly behind the lodge. I'm going to dig me a trench and make it go to the back side of the field, which I plan on doing that this weekend. But just but the lodging covers that. It covers and it really doesn't even cover all of it. $40 a night. I mean, you think about it. 10 people, I'm making $400, but it cost me roughly, just rough numbers, $250 on electricity and probably $100-ish on water. And that fluctuates from summer to winter, but I mean, that roughly $350 a month. Well, yeah, you get one weekend and you got your heat and your water and electricity paid. You get one weekend with 10 people there. Yeah. But what about the mattresses and the damn comforters that everybody steals and the pillows that everybody steals that I got to go buy? That, or sometimes I don't even realize they steal them. Get the beds ready, and I'm like, they're like, hey, I got a pillow, and I got to run and find a pillow at 10 o'clock at night. Just little things like that. That, or, I remodeled the whole damn bathroom in the lodge in town last year.
Right, yeah.
Before anybody started hunting anything. I had to, I had to rip the whole old tub out of there, the grandma tub that was in there, and put a whole new cadoodle in there, and we made it work. Magic. It worked its magic.
If anybody's listening to this and they showered in the OG the grandma tub, please send me a message, because that was an experience right there, and I would love to just hear it. It's nice to shower at all during hunting camp, but that was quite the experience.
No, and if you got a video that doesn't show your naked body,
all right,
with
now you're getting weird.
With the lights on,
I didn't ask for a video.
It had lights.
I didn't ask for a video.
It's got lights, bro. It had lights.
All right, don't send Tony the video. I don't want the video.
The funny thing is some people actually like that tub.
It was nice, dude.
For y'all that don't know what we're talking about, it was one of them old people tubs that you open the door and go in there and close it, and it seals, and you sit down in it. It's like a chair. It's like a tub, but It's like a tub with a chair in it, or like a chair made into it.
It was ADA
And-
compliant.
Yeah, and it like lit up and had air jets and stuff in it, and you like had like a water hose handle that you rinse your head off with. But we were making do. That was a lot better than not having anti-lodging. That's what I had before. I had some people that were like, I was like, man, I'm sorry, that's the tub we got right now. That's the cards I was dealt. And they're like, dude, I love it. And I was okay.
I was pissed when you got rid of it, to be honest, bro. I was.
Well,
Now
I
I'm
got
inside
that
of a
stand-up shower. In there.
yeah. It's like
Good.
some shit from Star Trek.
And then I got, we had to remodel it. And since COVID, you can't find a two-piece. It has to be a two-piece tub because you can't get anything bigger through the doorways to get to that bathroom. Could not find a two-piece tub. And then I had to replace the tub. COVID kind of jacked up what tubs were available. Well, then the other tub wore out and the floor wore out underneath it, and I had to replace the whole bathroom. Then I had to find a tub, and then I ended up finding that stand-up shower that a buddy of mine built the sports complex and has those showers in his like little gym, out back or whatever, and he had one left over that they couldn't put in, and I bought it from him. And then we put that one in there, and now we are rolling. We got golden chandeliers and all that.
Well, and keep in mind that Delta Thunder Outfitters is the only duck hunting outfit in Cache, Arkansas that has a bidet.
Yeah.
You can wash your booty.
Probably only outfitters got a bidet.
That's right. You want a clean booty? Come to Delta Thunder Outfitters. That's a new slogan.
Hey, that's a good point. Tell everybody, Kade, where they can get in touch with you and get those hunts booked and all that good stuff.
All right, so give me a call. That's the best way to do it, is give me a call. If I don't answer, shoot me a text and, tell me what you want to do, what you want to hunt. My number is 870-926-7944. If you've listened this far into this podcast, I really appreciate it.
So do we.
We're really good. We're really good with getting off topic, but that's just part of it when you're having a good conversation.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly right.
But get a hold of me, call me, text me, Facebook. If you want to know what available dates I got, I try to remember to update my book every Friday. So whoever books a hunt during the week, I go back through and say, all right, these dates were available last Friday, but now, this Friday it'll be these dates or what's available now. And I kind of got off rhythm when I went to Florida a couple weeks ago, kind of got off track, but now we're getting on it. So I won't put up a post this Friday. It'll be next Friday. I'll put up a post with the available dates. And, but yeah, just look through there, see a date you like, give me a call, text. My phone number is 870-926-7944. Give me a call, text anytime, and I'd be happy to talk with you and get you a duck hunt or goose hunt figured out, and we'll have a good time. You might see Tony and Tristan there. You don't ever know.
That's right.
That's right.
You could get lucky and they won't be there.
Well, they got probably like a 80% chance we won't be there, but
Yeah.
we are there a good bit.
Yep,
So you're
yep.
telling me there's a chance.
There's a chance.
That's right. Well, buddy, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for
All right,
taking time
guys.
out tonight.
All right.
That'll work.
See you later, man.
All right, y'all be careful.
All right, bye.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.